We take you back to one of our local stories making headlines. We go back to Khayelitsha, where 12 people were shot by unknown gunmen. 6 patrons were killed and 6 others wounded, including a 6-year-old girl. A manhunt was launched by police to try and find the suspects. A group of men stormed the house and allegedly started shooting randomly. Newsroom Africa reporter Ati Mtongana joins us live. Ati, talk us through the latest developments.
Well, Paul, we are trailing the police, of course. They have launched a 72-hour action plan to try and find the gunmen who mowed down about 6 patrons here at a tavern in Khayelitsha. Now, we don't know at the stage whether the actual house that was used to obviously drink with the patrons, whether it is a licensed liquor facility or house. At this stage, police will obviously include that in their investigation. So right now, what I want to show you as we walk with the police, as they try to find some details around this horrendous crime, we just spotted some blood stains which seemingly belong to the owner of this house, who seemingly fled from the house during the incident while the gunmen were opening fire. And so these blood stains evidently show that he obviously at some point ran towards this direction, and he was of course injured, and he is one of the deceased people. Now, it is of course around some informal houses. It is an informal settlement. It is quite difficult to move around as well. I'm going to ask my colleague to slightly pan and show you the situation and how this informal settlement is really, and how difficult it might have been for the owner to flee from the actual house where the shooting took place to where we are right now. And so police are here in their numbers, obviously trying to gather all the necessary information that they need to thoroughly investigate this incident. So we do understand that those that were injured, including a 6-year-old, are currently recovering in hospital. Some of them are in a critical condition. And like I mentioned to you earlier before, that we met with some of the family members of the deceased who were saying to us that they were en route to the Tygerberg hospital, and that's where some of the other relatives are, seemingly to obviously trail and try to find out how this incident took place. We know that the residents around here are a bit tight-lipped, but we see that they are engaging with some of the police officials that are here, trying to find out and trying to establish how it happened. But what we know at the stage is obviously that the gunmen gained entry into the house and started opening fire. Now, I'm going to ask my colleague to do something very difficult and just turn to try and trail back and try to go perhaps to the actual house where this incident happened. So where I'll be walking right now is to show you that this is particularly where the owner of the tavern walked to get to the place where we were standing earlier on. And of course, the bloodstains obviously showing that he tried to run in between these shacks to run for safety. But of course, unfortunately, he is one of the people that unfortunately passed away. So I'm going to ask my colleague to continue walking as we show you, as we walk towards the actual house where the incident happened. And so really, this is one of many incidents that we've seen in Khayelitsha of this nature, where people are mowed down like animals and ending up dying. And it is very unfortunate that this particular incident obviously involves a 6-year-old. And so some of the people here were actually working on removing some of the blood stains. They were just watering down some of the blood that we were seeing earlier on this morning. And so this is where it happened, and this is where some of the people that are no longer alive were shot and killed. And so police are investigating. We have seen some blood stains around this particular area. We are seeing that it has now been watered down by those who are working at this particular house. And we, like I said before, have no confirmation yet as to whether it is a licensed tavern or not. And there's actually more blood stains. I'm going to ask my colleagues and warn our viewers of the graphic horrific images that we're about to show. Obviously, a very tragic incident that took place that led to the death of 6 people here in Khayelitsha, and police are working tirelessly. They are here to try and get finer details. We're seeing more and more police officers arrive. I'm going to ask my colleague to pan and show you. We'll be getting all the details and all the developments and all the latest updates from the police as they continue to hunt down the gunmen. And it is something that, like I said to you, Mpho, we've seen in the past before in Khayelitsha, and we are yet to actually see police actually clamp down on illegal firearms in the Western Cape. Every single day, Mpho, I can tell you that there's not a day here in this particular province that we don't get a statement from the police that tells us of illegal firearms that have been confiscated by the police. But it seems that the work will continue. It seems like they have a long way to go before actually clamping down on all the illegal firearms in the province. And as you can see, the Cape Town TRT unit is here. They are here obviously as part of the action plan by the police to try and thoroughly investigate this very horrendous crime that took place. We know that the particular units that are working in this particular case, Mpho, are specialized units. We're talking about forensic experts, and we're also talking about all the specialized units that have been deployed to try and thoroughly investigate this incident.